Hey everyone, so this is a new series that I'm trying out. It's experimental. I will be doing monthly tarot readings for all of the different zodiac signs. So feel free to watch your sun, moon, or rising, or all of them if you actually have the time to do that. There will be extended versions and those links will be down below. This is a collective reading, so keep that in mind when you're listening to it. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If your sun sign isn't feeling like it's resonating with you, then maybe check out your rising sign next or your moon sign. So given that it's a collective reading and it's not one-to-one, it's not tapping into one exact person. So if you do want something more specific, you're welcome to book with me, but that will also be a link down below in the description. So because this is new and experimental, this is my first set of videos this month, I'd love to know how to improve this and how to make it more valuable and what you guys really think. So please let me know down in the comments as well what resonated with you, what things you'd like to make sure that I keep so that as I'm experimenting with the format that I don't take something out that a lot of you really like. So, and also if there are things that you have perhaps seen with other readers that you have enjoyed and you want to see if I can incorporate that, please let me know. One other thing I want to mention besides all of that is that we are self-determined and not predetermined. And my belief is that the tarot is a really useful tool to have messages or omens come through, which is why I say take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But we're all ultimately making our own decisions. So if you get a message in tarot that has you consider maybe shifting course, or it affirms something for you, great, fantastic. Just know that we all are the masters and creators of our own experience. So take with it what resonates and works, but really give it some thought. And, you know, I'm not a person who advocates for letting any one piece of these types of technologies dictate completely what we do without giving it its proper thought and really sitting with our emotions and deciding for ourselves what actually works best. So just really want to put that out there to make sure that you're considering that as you listen. Other than that, if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of these going forward, please like and subscribe. It helps me to continue to know that this is something that you want to see. I'm also considering doing full moon and new moon readings. I might even start to do bi-weekly depending on what people want. So again, your feedback is what really lets me know how to structure these going forward. So here's to the first month of trying these out, and I look forward to seeing more of you guys. Thanks. Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your February 2022 reading for the month of February. We're going to get into it. Really quickly, just want to say if you find anything valuable or that resonates with this reading, things that you like, please let me know. Give me some feedback in the comments down below, or let me know if there are any things that you've seen maybe with other readers or things that you've enjoyed in the past with other readers that you'd like to see if I can incorporate in the readings going forward, because I'm going to continue to refine and shift around the format to just improve the quality for you guys. So let me know what you liked and what resonates, and of course like, subscribe so that you don't miss anything in the future. I might be doing bi-weekly readings as well, or new and full moon readings. I'm still kind of working that out, so if those are things you're interested in, let me know. All right, without going any deeper into anything else, let's just get into your reading. And remember, this is a collective reading, so Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising sign. When we're reading for the collective, keep that in mind. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because it is a collective reading, which means that it's not going to be able to hit the mark specifically for every single Sag, sun, moon, or rising. So definitely check out your rising or moon or sun signs, you know, whatever the rest of your signs are. Make sure to check those out. And all right, let's just get into it. And if you do want a more specific reading, that is going to be down below. So let's take a look at, for Sag in February, what's the overall theme? Ooh, I like this. All right, like how this is starting out. And let's take a look at what the challenge overall, that just flew right out. You guys saw that, right? Okay. And spiritual advice. Okay, So we are going to get into each one of these individually, but I'm just going to pull everything, all the cards first, and then we'll get into it. Okay. So let's take a look at career for Sag. So career, finances, what's the overall theme for Sag? And challenge. And spiritual advice. Also, if you guys are ever curious, I do switch out decks sometimes, so please let me know if you're curious about which deck I'm using. I'm always happy to share. I'm a self-proclaimed deck whore, so when I see one that I really like, I definitely ask about it. So let's give that another shuffle. I feel like it's just another shuffle. There we go. Spiritual advice. Okay. And let's take a look at love life. What is the overall theme for the fiery Sages? Oh, interesting. Challenge. And spiritual advice. All right. So we've got 3 that popped out for the spiritual advice. All right, so let's get into these more deeply, and then we will progress to the extended reading. So start with our general Sages and take a look at what we've got here. Well, I love all the fire energy that's already happening, that's already occurring here, right? So tons of fire, tons of passion and creativity that's already coming through. Now, the 8 of Wands, that's like, what I'm loving about this is the overall theme is you have the support of the universe giving you the green light to go for what it is that you want, right? The arrows of luck and of creativity and of creating, they're shooting forth. These are fortuitous. And so it's basically the green light saying, like, the thing that you want, that you're going after, just put your attention and your focus in that direction, and you have the support there for you, Sag. So you have the support. You can accomplish what it is that you want. You're being so supported by the universe. So go for it. Go for it. Now, here's where we have your challenge. And Queen of Wands, I actually find this comes up for whatever reason in a lot of the readings that I have done for fire signs lately, so I'm not really sure what the common theme is there yet, but it's showing up in your reading as a challenge position. And it's like, you need to stop questioning this piece about being in the Queen of Wands. She is passionate, she's warm, she knows what she wants, she owns her confidence, she's got that fiery, beautiful, and like magnetic kind of energy, right? So she has a lot of really beautiful qualities. And so some of you are not stepping into your power and owning that. Some of you need to own your confidence and your fire and your passion and your ability to create and step into a higher level of what you've been managing before in your life. So you're being called into a more mature energy, one that requires that you need to manage more aspects of your life. It's not just you yourself looking out for you. You're having to pay attention to your environment, the people around you. So it's kind of like graduating into a different level. And with that comes, of course, some responsibility. But some of you are not stepping into that place, and you're going to need to do that in order to manifest what it is that you're wanting to manifest. Now, your spiritual advice is actually telling you that you need to also balance that out with rest. Yeah, go for what you want, but don't burn out. Don't burn the candle at both ends and end up burning out. Now, I am a fire sign. I can relate heavily to this. I definitely know that sometimes I will go until I am forced to rest. Kind of like toddlers who protest and say they are not tired and they don't want to take a nap and they're really tired. They're almost not even able to keep their eyes open. And, you know, and they'll just fight it and fight it and fight it until they just knock out because they really are out of steam. That's not what we're looking to do here. You need to take breaks before you get to the point where you collapse. This is about rejuvenation and actually taking the time to go inward. Here's the thing, Sagittarius, a lot of times the inspiration that you're going to need, the inspiration that comes with this, is coming from a place of when you're in a space of solace, right? When you take a break from music, Netflix, socializing, conversations, podcasts, reading, always having something, always ingesting, always doing, always whatever, and you get quiet enough to hear yourself, to hear what your intuition has for you, to feel what's there for you to feel. A lot of the inspiration that can come through when we need to create something comes from when we fill our cup, when we rejuvenate and we feel refreshed and we're able to think more clearly, right? So you need to balance this out. You need to make sure to get some rest. Some of you out there, this could be about regulating your sleep cycles, literally. You know, stop screwing your circadian rhythms and actually pay attention to your health. Some of you need to really pay attention to your health. That's standing out here as well. Okay, so let's take a look at your career. And again, we're starting out with something really fiery. So, you know, there's just a kind of holding the fort down, right? Holding the high ground, having to brace and hold the fort, essentially. And there's been a lot that has happened to get you to this place overall with where you're going in your career. So this is for whether you're an entrepreneur or you work with people in a business, like in an actual company. So whichever the case is, it's like you probably have been feeling over the last maybe month or two especially, but you've been feeling like you just have had to go through obstacle after obstacle and battle after battle. And while that has had you step into being maybe a more seasoned warrior and maybe you're a little bit better at handling those things, it's required a lot of energy and fire from you. It's required a lot. It's required a lot. And there's been a lot of figuring out what the balance is and having to basically fight for what it is that you're wanting. Some of you not really sure about what it is that you're wanting either. The challenge in your career for the month of February has to do with temperance. Temperance, said another way, could be moderation, right? It's also the ability to mix different aspects of your life in a way that is harmonious, right? There are the different elements that are being combined in a harmonious way to create something new. And so there are different aspects of your life. Maybe this involves trying to figure out your living situation or your home life or your relationships and how that fits together with your career, how you can focus on both or all. But it's this blending of different elements. This could actually also be about trying to figure out the different talents that you have. Some Sagittarians are definitely, you know, Jack or Jane of all trades. And so a little bit of everything. And so you might be at a point in your life where you're trying to figure out how the hell does all of this come together? How does it blend together? And finding the kind of middle space, right? Finding how you can move through it with some balance, actually, and be able to find the blend, the right blend. The spiritual advice that you're getting has to do with the Page of Swords. Some of you need to say what's there to say. You know what's really great about the Page of Swords? What I love about the Page of Swords is that pages are typically kind of this more youthful energy, and the Page of Swords kind of reminds me of the innocence, the innocent truth that children have when they are being straightforward, right? They just don't have certain filters. they don't have the experiences that tell them that they should or shouldn't say certain things or how to be delicate about it. Sometimes they will just say what's there to say that they see is there to say, and in a way that's a gift, right? They it could be immature communication, right? But we're seeing it in this position as your spiritual advice. And what I'm seeing here is that this is for you to say, speak your truth, be honest enough with yourself. You have to get to a place internally with you to know what is so for you and to know what there is to communicate. But then when it comes time to actually communicate, whether this is about deals in business or whether this is about maybe some of you are stepping out into a more public space with your career. I mean, honestly, for Sagittarius, like some of us have some stuff going on in that realm with our careers, so something to pay attention to. And so I would say when it comes time to actually speak truthfully, to speak with integrity, to say what's there to say, do so. Use your voice, speak your truth. And know what it is that you actually want to say. So be responsible also about knowing what's actually there to communicate. Don't do it recklessly or messily, right? So some of you, maybe, I know that Sagittarians can be known for being a bit blunt. And so tactfulness and diplomacy is learned over time, some later than others. And so it's important to be sure that you are not being messy about your communication also. Use your words, wield your weapon of communication with precision and wisely, okay? Some of you are getting the voice in the career space. Okay, let's take a look at love. All right, so, and I hope that you guys can see this, so please let me know if this is actually easily visible. The cards, like the detail. I am going to be working on different kinds of setups. So here we see in your love life, there's some kind of feeling of having won, being victorious, like you've come, like this is the hero returning from battles and actually returning to, the city victorious, right? This is the celebration of the victory. And so whether you are single or together with somebody or somebodies, multiple people, whatever the case may be, there's something hard won, either about your, like, here's the thing with Sagittarius, we're so about freedom. And yes, I am a primary like sun sign Sagittarius. I do read for all the signs. I will just say that I want to make sure you guys know I clear the decks before I read these, but I am definitely relating to some of what's going on here. Some of it's a little bit of a in my face kind of thing. So hopefully some of you are relating to this, but we tend to be very independent, right? We don't like people to encroach on our independence, tell us what to do, try to box us in, try to force us to do things before we want to do them. And in relationships that can, or even in dating, that can be hard. So for some of you, this is a hard-won freedom and liberation for yourself. And for other people, this is like you've come through a period that's been challenging. Especially, we just came out of that Venus retrograde at the end of January. And so it's just kind of starting to pick up speed going into February. February 3rd, we're coming out of Mercury retrograde, right? So there's just like, there's been this time of review. And during that period, especially the Venus retrograde of 40 days and 40 nights, think about like, what were you going through during that period? What were you contemplating? What did you need to consider or revise or revisit? And where have you been with that, right? And if you've been in relationships, you might have had to go through some hardships and kind of finally start to feel like, I'm finally starting to come out of this in the month of February, right? That's the overall theme. Now, when we're looking at what is going on with your challenge, we have the Queen of Cups, right? So some of you need to get hold of your internal emotional state. And one I'm just getting right now is like, how is that being expressed, but getting a hold of your emotional state. Some of you need to really stop running, process the emotion, feel the emotion. This is like the queen of the internal emotional world and of intuition. She's clean, she's clear, she's got it together. She knows she's a powerful force and she's in tune. you know? And so some of you are not really taking the time to put yourself in an emotional state that's going to be clear and beneficial for what comes next, whether you're single or you are with people. This is really about how beneficial it's going to be to benefit either your relationships or to be clear about who you're calling in and what kind of relationship you want to be having, right? So with the spiritual advice, we have a few things going on. The wheel is turning, Sag. Thank you. So happy. In fact, I want to switch these around because I just want to say the past is done, right? It's like spilled milk. Don't cry over the spilled milk. Whoever this was, this might actually represent a person that you are coming out of dealing with. Let it go. This is not the time for it. This is not the timing. The wheel is turning and you're moving towards the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is the ultimate, right? Like that's what we really want. And this is a really great card to have in spiritual advice for relationships specifically, right? So whether you want a family or not, that's not really the case. It's like, this is just the ultimate. It's like, I've gotten to this beautiful feeling place. My feelings are, I feel fulfilled. I have the relationship that feels really good. I have the life that feels really good. With that, it's like everything's all good. It's the good life. This is the ultimate blissful feeling, right? Like I made it. I made it, right? And so it's like the spiritual advice is like, okay, here it is. There's a light at the end of the tunnel that you've just like come through all this stuff. Deal with the feelings and shit that you need to deal with so that you can actually start to move towards this being realized. In order to have that be realized, you've got to let go of the past. You've got to stop holding on to what's happened. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe other people have made mistakes. Let it go. That shit's dragging you down. The wheel is turning. The seasons are turning. The wheel is turning. And here's the thing. It's only painful when we try to hold on to the wheel and try to stop it from actually moving forward. It's going to move no matter what. The wheel turns. The wheel turns whether you want it to or not. The difference is if you're going to experience something that feels like flow, or if you're going to resist it, it's going to be painful because you'll be kicking and screaming the whole way through, right? So, Sagittarius, you've come through a lot. You have some victories. You have some hard, probably won in some ways, liberation. You're starting to feel a little bit of that freedom again, a little bit of that lightness again, a little bit more of that victorious feeling. And there is stuff to deal with. I believe this is connected here with something from maybe your recent past, definitely exes and things like that. Let that shit go. Let the wheel turn. There is a bright spot coming forward in the near future. So there's something here to look forward to, and it's like giving you hope, you know, essentially your guides or whoever you believe in telling you like, hey, it's coming. There is something on the horizon, right? And just need to deal with this and allow things to move forward so that you can see how it actually unfolds in your favor. All right, so let's move these aside. And I want to take a look at the masculine and feminine archetypes for Sagittarius. So the God and Goddess cards that I pull from, I see them as being archetypes. There are certain strengths or personality traits that come with, you know, these deities that we can use to embody, to help us with any of the things we feel confronted by as we go forward into the month. So this is the kind of support that we can draw on, the kind of strength that we can draw on, right? So I also want to take a look at the shadows. Now, we've seen in your reading where some of the challenges are showing up, but what about the blind spots? The term shadow work gets overused in an insane amount these days, but really what that is where are the blind spots, the things that are tripping us up, that kind of run the show in the background that we're a little bit blind to, things that we might need to confront, especially that would trip us up or have us be stuck as we're trying to move forward, as we're trying to create this next phase that we're moving into. So also going to get a little bit of spiritual advice and a little bit more and find out How are you being called forward? What are you being invited to really take a look at? What's some of the deeper meaning? How can we actually pull together some of the spiritual advice that you've been getting so far today? Okay. And let's pull from this oracle deck as well. If we were to look at your life as a journey, and we're looking at it maybe on one of those old world kind of maps, it's like, where on this journey are you? What is the focal point? Where are you on the map, right? And then lastly, we're going to pull a rune. I find that sometimes they can be very instructive, a little bit more direct and to the point. So, Sag, I hope that this has provided some insight for you. These cards are going to be in the extended reading. The links are down below for how you can go to Patreon and you can get the extended reading. So yes, please let me know your feedback. Again, what you liked, what you'd like to see more of so that I can continue to improve this. The links are down below also for if you want a one-to-one more specific reading. And yeah, like, subscribe so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. I will see you in the extended reading. Have a good month, Sag.